Hello there, dear friend. Come sit with me a moment, maybe on your back porch with a glass of iced tea nearby and your hands resting gently in your lap. Can you hear the birds, that soft rustle of wind through the garden? It's the kind of morning where the world feels quiet and open, like it's waiting for us to create something tender and beautiful. Today, I want to share something simple, something grounded. We're going to talk about stones. Now I know they may not look like much at first glance, just rocks beneath our feet. But with a little imagination and a sprinkle of joy, even the plainest stone can become a treasure. It can become a story, a smile, a gentle reminder that beauty doesn't have to cost a thing. Just like us, these stones have been weathered by time, but they're still here. And maybe, just maybe, they've got a bit of art left in them. The best part, you don't need to spend money or chase after fancy supplies. You don't need strong hands or perfect eyesight. What you need, and already have, is your heart, your wisdom, and a few bits and pieces from around the house. Some leftover paint, maybe a broken dish, an old picture frame, or a dusty jar of buttons. These forgotten things are quietly waiting for a second chance. This isn't just a craft project. It's a way of honoring what's already here. It's about turning the simple into the sacred. It's about remembering that creativity isn't reserved for the young or the wealthy. It belongs to anyone with care in their hands. So, come with me. Let's wander through some stone art ideas that might just awaken a spark in you. Some are perfect for a quiet afternoon alone. Others you can share with grandkids or dear friends. All of them are made with love, using what we already have. Because isn't that what aging gracefully is all about, finding new beauty in old things? Letting our stories live on in the gentle touches we leave behind. Let's begin, dear friend. Do you remember the joy of doodling as a child? A scrap of paper, a pencil, and nothing else in the world pulling at you. Just you and the rhythm of shapes and swirls. That same quiet joy is what comes alive when you paint a mandala on a stone. Start with a smooth, flat rock, the kind you might find on a walk through your neighborhood or tucked along a garden path. You don't need to buy anything fancy. Just a stone that feels good in your palm. Clean it gently with water and let it dry in the sun. You might find yourself smiling already. Now reach for those leftover craft paints tucked in a drawer, even if they've sat there for years. Bright pinks, deep blues, soft creams, they don't have to match. That's the charm of it. A toothpick, a cotton swab, the eraser end of a pencil, these become your brushes. Dip one into a dab of paint and begin with a dot in the center of the stone. Then another and another. Circles within circles, petals radiating outward. There's no wrong way, only what feels right to your hand. As you move outward with the pattern, something lovely happens. Time slows down. Your breath softens. It's almost like prayer, not with words, but with color and quietness. Every dot is a moment of peace. Every swirl a whisper to the earth that you're still creating, still giving beauty. This project is especially friendly for aging hands. There's no heavy lifting, no need to crouch or bend. You can sit comfortably at a table with a soft cloth under your stone and a cup of tea at your side. Even if your fingers aren't as steady as they used to be, let that be part of the art. Wobbles, skips, uneven dots, they all tell a story. Just like smile lines or silver hair, they are signs of a life well lived. And when your mandala is done, hold it up in the light. Let it catch the sun. You've taken something that once went unnoticed, a stone on the ground, and turned it into something luminous. You can place it in a flower pot, gift it to a friend, or simply keep it on your table as a reminder, even in stillness there is wonder. It's not just a painted rock. It's a moment of peace, a burst of color in a quiet life, a meditation in motion. And like so many things in life, it costs nothing but a little time and a gentle heart. Remember when we used to mark rows in the garden with popsicle sticks or old silverware, those little labels waving in the breeze, reminding us what we planted and where? There was always something comforting about it, a small sign of order in nature's wildness. Now imagine doing it with stones. Flat, palm-sized rocks make the perfect canvas for garden markers. They're sturdy, weatherproof, and have a natural charm that wooden sticks just can't match. Start by gathering a few flat stones from your yard, or maybe from that box of keepsake rocks we all seem to collect over time. Wipe them clean with a damp cloth and let them dry completely. Then pick up a brush or paint pen, something easy to hold and maneuver. No need for fine lines or fancy fonts. Just write the name of the plant, basil, mint, tomatoes. You can add a little flourish if you'd like a green leaf, a small sun, a swirl of color. The point isn't perfection, it's personality. If bending down into the garden isn't comfortable anymore, you can paint your markers while sitting at a cozy table, then ask a neighbor or grandchild to place them for you, or place them in raised beds and containers where they're easy to reach. What I love most about this idea is how personal it feels. Each marker becomes a tiny part of your story. Maybe the stone labeled lavender reminds you of the sachets your mother kept in her drawers. Maybe zinnias brings back memories of your first garden bursting with color beside your old kitchen window. These markers don't just tell what's growing, they tell who you are. And when a visitor strolls through your garden and sees those hand-painted stones, they'll feel your touch in every corner. It's not just a garden, it's an expression of care, of time spent slowly, of names remembered and seeds tended. It's amazing, isn't it? A stone, a name, a memory, all stitched together by your hands. Still useful just like us. Think back to the last time someone handed you a cold glass of lemonade or a warm mug of tea. Maybe you were sitting on the porch listening to the hum of summer. Maybe the table beneath you had a little ring left behind, that familiar watermark, almost like a signature of a shared moment. Now imagine placing that cup on something made by your own hands, a stone coaster smoothed and painted just the way you like it. Simple, elegant, and strong like you. To make your own, start by selecting flat, medium-sized stones. The flattest ones you can find, ideally as round or oval as your palm. Beach stones, river stones, or even ones found at a garden center will work well. Wash them with warm, soapy water and let them dry thoroughly. This gives you a clean canvas and helps your paint stick. If you have arthritis or stiff joints, work at a table with a cushion under your wrists. There's no rush. Every step can be done gently. For decoration, you can paint freehand stripes, flowers, or your initials, or use a stencil if that's easier. Don't be afraid to experiment. Dab with a sponge, use tape for clean lines, or decoupage with floral napkins or fabric scraps. You might even glue a bit of jute rope around the edge for a farmhouse feel. Once your design is dry, seal it with a clear acrylic spray or brush-on sealant. This keeps moisture from ruining your work and gives it a lovely finished sheen. Some folks like to glue a small piece of felt or cork to the bottom to protect their table, but it's optional. The beauty of these coasters is they feel like nature itself, heavy, cool, grounded. And every time you lift your glass, you're reminded that even the plainest stone can serve a noble purpose. They also make beautiful gifts. Wrap a set of 4 in twine and give them to a friend with a card that reads, "From my hands to your home." You don't need to buy fancy decor to feel proud of your space. These little touches, handmade, heartfelt, and humble, bring a kind of quiet joy that store-bought things just can't match. And when the sun filters through the kitchen window and your mug rests quietly on that stone, it'll feel like more than just a coaster. It'll feel like a reminder your hands still create beauty. Do you remember the little animal figurines we used to place on windowsills or nestle between books on the shelf? Some came from trips, others were gifts, and a few, well, they just made us smile. There's something about tiny creatures, ladybugs, owls, frogs, that brings out a kind of gentle delight in all of us. Now imagine making your own right from the stones in your garden. Start by picking out stones with shape and personality. A round stone might become a plump ladybug, while an oblong one could turn into a wise old owl. There's no perfect form, just potential. Give them a gentle wash with warm water and a soft brush. Then let them sun dry while you prepare your colors. This is where your old stash of craft paint comes in. That little bottle of red you haven't used in years, perfect for a ladybug's wings. A dab of green and a few dots. You've got a frog. And if you're short on paint, scraps of fabric, old buttons, googly eyes, or even bits of felt can bring these critters to life. Use a cotton swab, a toothpick, or even the end of a chopstick to dab on eyes and details. You don't need fine brush control, just a steady heart and a smile. If your hands tremble, embrace it. A slightly crooked smile gives your rock owl even more charm. Place your creatures among your flower beds, along a garden path, or nestled in a potted plant. Children will adore them. Visitors will pause to look closer. And you'll know that your garden isn't just alive with greenery, It's alive with joy. You can even make it a family project. Invite your grandkids to paint one when they visit. Then let them place it in your garden like a secret they're sharing with nature. Over time, these little rock animals become like memories resting quietly among the leaves and soil, watching over your days. They remind us that life doesn't have to be serious to be meaningful. That something playful, something made with care and whimsy, can light up a whole corner of the world. Stillness and laughter, that's the balance of a good garden, and perhaps a good life too. Do you have a quiet corner in your home? Maybe a hallway, a sunroom, or even just a bare spot above your gardening table that could use a touch of soul. Not something store-bought or polished, but something that feels you. Stone wall art might be just the thing. And it starts with the humblest of pieces, a few old stones and your imagination. Start by gathering a variety of stones, big, small, round, or jagged. Each shape tells a story. You might already have some tucked away from past walks, or you can collect them during a slow morning stroll. Run your fingers over them. Let their shapes guide your idea. Will it be a floral scene, a landscape, a heart, or maybe an abstract spiral? Next, find a piece of wood, a sturdy old picture frame, or even a scrap of canvas. This will be your base. If your hands tire easily, work on a table with soft lighting and a comfortable chair. Spread your stones out and begin to arrange them like puzzle pieces. There's no need for glue just yet, simply play. See what patterns emerge. When you feel something click, a tree forming from gray pebbles, a sun rising from smooth amber glass. That's your cue. Use a strong craft glue, something safe and easy to squeeze, to attach each piece one by one. There's something deeply satisfying about it, like piecing together a memory. If you'd like, you can add driftwood, broken jewelry, pressed flowers, or even a little handwritten word tucked in the corner. Some folks even paint a few of the stones before gluing them down, adding highlights or meaning. The beauty is in the freedom. This is your canvas. When finished, your stone collage becomes more than just decoration. It becomes a quiet celebration of earth, of time, of patience. Hang it in a hallway where morning light can kiss it. Let visitors see it and ask, "Did you make that?" And you can smile and say yes with old stones and a peaceful heart. You've taken what others might overlook, a scattered pile of forgotten bits, and turned it into a story that hangs on the wall. Strong, still, beautiful, just like the stories you carry within you. Do you have an old teacup that cracked but you couldn't bear to throw away? Or maybe a broken dish tucked in the back of the cupboard, too pretty to toss but too damaged to use? Those pieces, chipped, worn, forgotten, can live again in the most stunning way, as part of a mosaic on stone. There's a kind of healing in this project, a sense of taking what's been broken and making it beautiful again. Start with a larger stone, something hefty enough to serve as your base. Flat-topped stones work best, but don't worry if it's a bit uneven. Nature rarely makes anything perfect. That's part of the charm. Now gather your mosaic bits. These might include broken china, cracked ceramic tiles, old glass beads, sea glass, marbles, or buttons. Even small mirrors or jewelry fragments can add sparkle. Just be sure everything is clean and safe to handle. If you're working with sharp pieces, wear gloves and take your time. Spread out your materials on a table and begin placing them like a tiny quilt. You can create patterns, flowers, spirals, hearts, or just follow your intuition. Once you're happy with the layout, glue each piece down gently with strong craft adhesive. Press slowly and firmly, allowing each fragment to nestle into the stone like it belongs. Once dry, you can grout between the pieces using pre-mixed grout available at craft stores, or even use painted glue if you want to keep it lightweight and simple. Smooth the surface with a damp cloth, and suddenly you've transformed a rock and a box of broken odds into something worthy of admiration. These mosaic stones make stunning garden accents. Set one by your front steps or at the base of your favorite rose bush. You can even make a series and line a garden path, each one like a chapter of a story told in color and light. And emotionally, there's something deeply affirming about turning shattered things into art. It reminds us that life doesn't have to be flawless to be lovely. That cracks and chips aren't the end, they're the beginning of a new creation. So go ahead, break a plate. Find the beauty in the fragments. Make a mosaic that reflects your journey, textured, colorful, and wholly your own. After all, aren't we all mosaics in some way? There's something magical about candlelight, isn't there? The way it dances quietly at dusk, casting shadows that feel like whispers. It softens a room, warms a moment, makes even an ordinary evening feel special. Now imagine placing that soft glow into a stone, grounding it, holding it steady like a heartbeat from the earth. That's the quiet wonder of a stone candle holder. To begin, you'll need a large, sturdy stone, one that feels solid in your hand, like a loaf of bread or a wide, flat bun. The surface should be smooth enough to sit level, whether outdoors on your patio table or indoors on a shelf. The goal is to create a shallow indentation just enough to cradle a tea light or votive. If you're comfortable using tools, a handheld rotary tool with a proper masonry bit can gently carve the stone. Always wear gloves, protective glasses, and a dust mask if drilling, safety first always. If you're not up for drilling, no problem at all. You can glue a candle holder cup from old metal lids, glass inserts, or even thrifted votive bases directly onto the surface instead. The effect is just as charming. Now comes the personal touch. You can paint around the candle, well, maybe a soft gold ring, a delicate vine, or stars that seem to twinkle beside the flame. Or leave the stone in its natural glory and simply oil it with a touch of mineral or olive oil to bring out its quiet luster. Place your finished candle holder where it can shine. On your front step, beside your bathtub, in a quiet corner where you sit with tea and dreams. Light it when guests come over or during a quiet night when you want to feel close to something warm and steady. There's something deeply symbolic here. The idea of a flame, fragile flickering, held by a stone that has weathered 1,000 storms. Soft light in solid strength. It's the perfect metaphor for growing older with grace. We may be slower now, softer in some ways, but we are still capable of holding light, of creating beauty that shines through the dark, and of reminding the world that even a rock plain and rough can be transformed into something sacred, something warm. Have you ever picked up a stone and just held it for a while, feeling the coolness against your palm, the texture against your skin, the quiet weight of it grounding you? Sometimes the simplest things speak the loudest, and sometimes the most beautiful stones are the ones we leave mostly untouched. This idea is about honoring the stone for what it already is, not painting it, not carving it, just gently revealing the beauty it already carries. Begin by choosing a few natural stones that catch your eye. They don't have to be fancy, just something with a shape or color that feels peaceful to you. Maybe you found them on a walk, or maybe they've sat in a garden bed unnoticed for years. Pick them up. Wash them gently with water and a soft brush to remove dirt. Let them dry in the sun. That alone often brings out their color. Next, take a soft cloth and a bit of natural oil. Olive oil works beautifully. Rub a few drops into the surface of the stone using slow circular motions. You'll start to see colors come alive, warm reds, quiet grays, deep greens. It's like wiping away the years to reveal a secret waiting beneath. There's no heavy lifting here, no tools, just your hands, a cloth, and a quiet hour. Once polished, these stones make wonderful additions to a small rock garden. You can gather a few in a shallow dish as a centerpiece on your table or place them around the base of potted plants. Some people like to line them on a windowsill where morning light touches them like a blessing. You could even give them as gifts. Wrap a single polished stone in a bit of cloth and include a small note, still strong, still shining. That's what these stones say after all. That's what they remind us. Because this craft isn't about decorating, it's about appreciating. It's a gentle practice in slowing down, in seeing the beauty that was there all along. A reminder that you don't need to change everything to make something special. Sometimes you just need to pause and polish. Do you remember telling bedtime stories to little ones, the kind where their eyes widened and they whispered, "What happens next?" Those quiet evenings full of wonder and imagination. Well, you can bring that same magic back with a bowl of painted stones and a gentle story to tell. Story stones are just what they sound like, small stones painted with simple images that spark the imagination. A moon, a tree, a house, a smiling face, a flower. Each one is a little piece of a tale waiting to be told. And the best part, you don't need to be an artist. You only need heart. Begin with small, smooth stones. Wash them and let them dry fully. Then sit down with a cup of tea and think about the kind of images that make you smile. Use craft paint or permanent markers to draw simple things: a sun, a bird, a boat, a heart. They don't have to be perfect. In fact, the more handmade they look, the more charming they become. Let each stone be its own idea. Then gather them in a basket or cloth bag. When the grandkids come over, or even if it's just you in a quiet evening, pull out one stone at a time and build a story together. You might begin. Once upon a time, there was a little bear who lived in a house in the forest. And then pick the next stone a tree. He loved to nap under the tallest tree, and so on. It becomes a shared game of imagination, a dance between images and memory. You can even make themed sets: a fairy tale set, a garden set, a holiday set. And if painting is tricky, you can glue small printed pictures onto the stones or use stickers sealed with a clear coat. There are no rules here, just storytelling. These stones are also perfect for seniors who love to host neighborhood kids or want to keep connections strong with family far away. You can send a set of story stones as a gift with a handwritten note of how to use them. And for you, dear friend, these are not just stones. They're vessels of love, carriers of imagination, a way to pass along not just tales, but togetherness. Because long after the toys are forgotten and the batteries die, what children remember is the way you looked at them while you spoke, the sound of your voice, and the feeling of being drawn into a world you created just for them. That kind of storytelling lives forever. You know those small stones you sometimes find on walks, the ones that slip perfectly into your pocket as if they were made to be held. Some are smooth as water, others freckled or striped, each one entirely its own. What if one of those could become a necklace, a piece of you worn close to the heart? That's the idea behind stone jewelry, creating beautiful, meaningful pieces from the earth beneath our feet. Start with stones that are small, light, and have a shape you like. They don't need to be symmetrical or flashy. In fact, the more natural they are, the more special they feel. Look for ones about the size of a quarter or smaller. Once cleaned and dried, you have two main options for turning them into jewelry: wrapping or drilling. If you're up for using tools and feel steady with your hands, you can carefully drill a small hole through the top of the stone using a rotary tool and a diamond bit. Be sure to wear protective glasses, go slowly, and place the stone on a soft cloth to keep it steady. But if drilling sounds like too much, wire wrapping is a gentle, forgiving alternative. Use soft jewelry, wire, silver, copper, or even colored, and wrap the wire around the stone in loops or spirals, creating a small loop at the top to slide onto a cord or chain. There are many simple wrapping tutorials online, and once you get the hang of it, you may find it meditative, like braiding a memory. You can string your stone onto a bit of ribbon leather or an old necklace chain. Some folks like to add beads or small charms beside it: a pressed flower in resin, a birthstone, or a tiny bell. Each necklace becomes your own story. And you don't have to stop at necklaces. You can make earrings by wire wrapping matched stones, or bracelets with small pebbles strung between beads. Even keychains or pins for hats and bags. These make thoughtful gifts too: a stone from a favorite place turned into a keepsake for someone you love. Stone jewelry reminds us that beauty doesn't come from a store. It comes from intention, from taking the time to see worth in what others might overlook. And perhaps most tender of all, it lets you carry a piece of nature with you, pressed close like a secret between you and the earth. Still strong, still shining, still you. There's something about old photographs, the kind that sit quietly on mantels or shelves, holding memories in soft sepia tones. A wedding day, a baby's first steps, a picnic under a willow tree. These moments deserve more than a plastic frame from the store. They deserve something that reflects their weight, their warmth. That's where stone-framed memories come in. You can take an ordinary picture frame, maybe one that's chipped or plain, and turn it into a rustic treasure using small stones and a bit of glue. The result is something earthy, elegant, and deeply personal. Begin by choosing your base. A wooden frame works best, especially if it has a wide border to decorate. If the frame is old or uneven, give it a light sanding and a quick dust. Then gather your stones. You'll want small, flat pebbles no bigger than a walnut in tones you love. Think river stones, beach pebbles, or even crushed tile pieces if you want a mosaic feel. Lay out the stones around the frame before gluing like a puzzle. You can place them close together for a full smooth finish, or leave space between for a more natural, breezy look. Some folks like to add accents, a piece of sea glass, a button, a dried flower, or even a bit of driftwood for a coastal feel. When you're ready, use a strong craft glue or hot glue if your hands are steady and safe with it. Press each piece gently, working in small sections. Take your time. This isn't a rush. It's a ritual, a tribute to memory. Once the glue is dry, you can seal the stones with a matte or satin finish, if you like just a touch of clear spray or brush-on sealer to bring out their color. Then slide in your photo, a smiling face, a beloved moment. And suddenly, that picture becomes more than a snapshot. It becomes a shrine of sorts, framed by the earth itself. This project is kind to aging hands. You can do it while seated at a table with soft music, playing each stone placed like a note in a song. It doesn't demand perfection. It asks only for presence. And when friends or family see it, they'll know this frame wasn't bought. It was made, carefully, quietly, with love. Because some memories deserve more than a frame. They deserve a setting, a place where stone and story meet. Have you ever held a stone that felt like a little cradle in your palm, smooth and curved as if it was made to hold something small and alive? That's the magic behind mini rock planters, tiny pockets of life nestled in solid ancient stone. These are some of the most charming and low-maintenance additions you can make to your home or garden. Perfect for succulents, air plants, or even a sprig of moss, they bring a quiet, natural beauty to windowsills, shelves, and patios. To begin, look for larger stones, ones with a flat base and a dip or hollow in the center. You can find these naturally, especially along riverbeds or in landscaping sections at garden centers. But if you're feeling crafty and have the tools, you can gently carve out a shallow bowl using a masonry drill or rotary tool. Just be sure to wear gloves, eye protection, and go slow. Once you have your hollowed stone, rinse it out and let it dry. Add a little layer of pebbles at the bottom if the hole is deep enough. This helps with drainage. Then fill it with a bit of cactus soil or moss and tuck in your plant. Succulents work beautifully here because they require very little watering and thrive in tight spaces. Air plants need no soil at all, just a misting now and then. If drilling isn't possible, you can also glue a small container like the metal cup from a tea light or a bottle cap painted in a soft tone into the center of a larger stone. Once filled with soil and plant, the effect is just as delightful. Place your mini planters in spots where the light is kind, on a bathroom shelf beside the sink, along a sunny windowsill. You'll find they bring a sense of calm wherever they go. Quiet reminders that life doesn't need to be big to be beautiful. These planters also make thoughtful gifts. A stone from your garden filled with life passed into someone else's hands. It feels like giving a little piece of your world. And perhaps most touching of all, they reflect the very heart of aging with grace, something solid, steady, shaped by time, still capable of cradling new life. You don't need a sprawling garden to feel connected to nature. Sometimes all it takes is a single stone and something green. Do you remember those quiet afternoons when the wind would dance through the trees and the chimes on the porch would sing their soft, gentle song? That sound like a lullaby made of breeze and memory can soothe the soul in a way nothing else quite can. Now imagine creating your very own wind chime using stones you've gathered and loved. This project is a beautiful blend of movement, sound, and nature, and it's more accessible than it might seem. Start with a handful of medium-sized stones, smooth and not too heavy. The kind you'd pick up on a walk, pocketing them without even knowing why. They don't have to match. In fact, their differences are what make the finished piece feel alive. To turn them into wind chime pieces, you'll need to drill small holes near the tops. A rotary tool with a diamond bit works best for this, and as always, safety comes first. Gloves, eye protection, and taking your time are key. If you're not comfortable with drilling, you can glue small eyelets or wrap soft wire securely around the tops instead. It all depends on what feels doable for your hands. Once your stones are prepared, you'll need something to hang them from. A sturdy branch, a wooden dowel, or even a recycled coat hanger works well. Tie strong twine fishing line or jute cord through each stone and suspend them at different lengths. You can intersperse beads, bells, shells, or charms if you'd like to add a touch of sparkle or a softer tone. Hang your finished chime in a breezy place near the front porch under the eaves or in a garden nook. Then, wait for the wind. When it comes, the stones will tap gently against each other, not loud, but thoughtful, like nature humming under its breath. It's a sound that says peace, a sound that says home. And every time it rings, it carries your care into the air. You've taken something heavy, literal stones, and turned them into something light, something that moves, sings, and soothes. Just like you've done so many times in life, turned burden into beauty. Still grounded, but never rigid. Still strong, but open to the breeze. A wind chime like this doesn't just make music. It makes a memory that echoes long after the wind passes through. Some days, creativity feels like a patchwork quilt, a little of this, a little of that, stitched together into something unexpectedly lovely. That's the feeling behind mixed texture stone art. It's about layering not just materials, but also memories. Think of this as storytelling with scraps. Start with a stone that feels good in your hand. Not too big, not too small, just the kind that invites you to sit down and stay a while. Clean it with warm water and then let it dry while you gather your bits and pieces. This project is all about upcycling. That old lace doily with a hole in it, perfect. A worn-out burlap ribbon from a Christmas gift, even better. Tiny fabric flowers from a broken pin, ribbons from a forgotten craft box, buttons, thread, twine pieces of worn denim, all of them can find a home here. Choose a theme, or just follow your heart. Maybe you want a floral look, or maybe something more earthy and rough. Use strong craft glue or a decoupage medium to attach each piece to the surface of your stone. Press gently. Let folds and textures rise naturally. You're not trying to make it flat, you're trying to make it feel. Once the fabric is secure and dry, you can add finishing touches, a gentle dry brush of paint over burlap to highlight its weave, or a gold pen to trace around a lace edge. If you'd like, seal the whole piece with a clear coat to protect it. But honestly, the rustic softness is often the most beautiful just as it is. These textured stones look wonderful displayed in shallow bowls on windowsills or even framed in shadow boxes. They bring a softness to the strength of stone, a marriage of the delicate and the enduring. And when you hold one in your hand, it's like holding a moment, a piece of your past stitched gently onto the present. That little strip of flannel from your child's baby blanket, that ribbon from your mother's gift, they come alive again, not as clutter, but as cherished texture. This kind of crafting is easy on the hands and forgiving in spirit. You don't need straight lines. You don't need symmetry. You just need curiosity and a willingness to see beauty where others might not. And in that way, this art mirrors you. Because in your hands, dear friend, even scraps can become something sacred. Sometimes all it takes is a smile to brighten the day, not a grand gesture, just a tiny, unexpected grin. And what better way to invite those smiles into your garden or home than with a few hand-painted rock faces, each one full of charm, mischief, or gentle cheer. This is one of those crafts that brings out the child in us, and it couldn't be simpler. Start with a stone that feels like a little head. Rounded stones work best. Think of them like blank dolls waiting to come to life. Wash them gently, then let them dry on a towel while you gather your paints or markers. Now comes the fun part, the face. You can keep it as simple as 2 dots for eyes and a curved line for a mouth. Or you can go wild, bushy eyebrows, rosy cheeks, spectacles, mustaches, freckles, even a little sleepy yawn. Don't worry if your lines wobble or your paint smudges. That just adds character. After all, the most memorable faces in life are the ones with the most expression. If you like, you can even glue on bits of yarn for hair, tiny scraps of fabric for hats, or buttons for noses. Let your creativity roam free, silly, sweet, or serene. Each rock can become someone entirely new. Once they're finished, place your new friends throughout your space. Hide one in a flower pot to surprise a visitor. Line a few along your front porch for passers-by to admire. Or keep one by your kitchen sink for a dose of joy while washing dishes. These rock faces are more than decorations. They're tiny ambassadors of joy. And for those with grandchildren or neighborhood kids, they offer a delightful way to bond. You can even make a little rock family together, grandma, grandpa, the dog, and even a mischievous cousin with big ears and crooked glasses. And when you look at them later, long after the paints have dried, You'll remember the laughter, the shared silliness, the feeling of being young at heart. You'll remember that joy doesn't need to be complicated. A stone, a face, a smile. That's all it takes to brighten a moment. Because sometimes, dear friend, what the world needs most is not perfection, but personality. And what a beautiful thing it is to still have that spark to create, to play, to make the world a little lighter with just a rock and a smile. Do you remember rainy afternoons gathered around the table with a board game? Maybe it was checkers, tic-tac-toe, or a made-up game with its own set of rules. There was laughter, gentle competition, maybe a bit of teasing, and always a feeling of togetherness. Now imagine bringing that feeling back with a handful of painted stones. Stone game pieces are a delightful and practical way to craft with purpose. They're sturdy, tactile, and full of character. And the best part, you can make them exactly the way you want. Start by choosing stones that are small and similar in size, not too big, just large enough to pick up comfortably. Think of them like playing tokens. Wash them well, dry them fully, and gather your paints or markers. Decide what game you'd like to create pieces for. If you love tic-tac-toe, paint 5 stones with one design, maybe hearts, and 5 with another like stars. For checkers, choose 2 colors or symbols. You can even make a memory game by painting matching pairs, 2 bees, 2 trees, 2 suns. Keep the designs simple, bold, and easy to recognize. If you enjoy storytelling, consider painting unique characters on each stone, a pirate, a queen, a fox, a dragon, and invent a game all your own. Even if your hands aren't as steady as they used to be, just use thick brushes or paint pens with wide tips. It doesn't need to be precise, it just needs to be you. For a game board, you can draw on an old cutting board, a piece of fabric, or even a thrifted tile, or simply use chalk on the patio or a piece of paper taped to the table. Keep a small pouch or tin nearby to hold your pieces when you're done. And when the grandkids come to visit or a neighbor stops by for tea, pull out your set and say, "Want to play a game I made myself?" They'll smile, you'll laugh, and time will slow down just like it always does when people connect over something simple and shared. These little stones aren't just game pieces, they're conversation starters, memory makers, proof that fun doesn't have to come in a shiny box or cost a dime. And in a world that moves so fast, taking the time to make joy with your own 2 hands is a beautiful act of resistance. Still playful, still creative, still very much you. There's something timeless about the delicate pattern of a leaf, those slender veins, the gentle arch of a stem. Each one is like a quiet signature from nature. And with just a little effort, you can preserve that beauty forever on the surface of a stone. This project is one of the gentlest on our list. No tools, no fine detail work, just the slow, peaceful rhythm of pressing nature into art. Begin with a clean, smooth stone. Flat ones work best, especially those with a lighter surface that will show contrast. Take a walk through your garden or neighborhood and collect a few leaves or small flowers. Ferns, maple, leaves herbs like mint or sage, anything with texture will do. Now for the pressing. One method is to paint a thin layer of acrylic paint onto the back side of the leaf, where the veins are most pronounced, using a sponge or soft brush. Carefully press it onto the stone and hold it for a moment with gentle, even pressure. When you lift it, you'll see the delicate imprint of the leaf, a soft echo of nature frozen in time. Another approach is to use air-dry clay or modeling compound. Roll a small piece over the top of the stone, then press your leaf into the clay. Gently peel the leaf away and you'll see its impression left behind. Once the clay dries, you can paint it or leave it natural. Either way, it becomes a textured reminder of a real living thing. These stones make thoughtful gifts or quiet mementos for your home. You might even press leaves from a place that means something to you, a tree from your childhood yard, a bloom from a neighbor's garden, and capture that memory forever. Set them along a windowsill, use them as paperweights, or gather them in a basket for guests to admire. Their beauty lies in their simplicity, and the process itself is grounding. Slow, sensory, almost like a gentle meditation with your hands. You're not rushing to finish, you're savoring each step. You're connecting with something real, something rooted. In a world full of screens and noise, it's powerful to sit quietly, hold a stone and press a leaf into it as if you're saying, "I see you, nature. I remember you. I honor you." Because even as seasons change and leaves fall, we still carry the mark of where we've been. And that, dear friend, is what makes us beautiful. Do you find joy in marking the seasons? A tiny pumpkin on the table in autumn, a sprig of pine in winter, soft pastels come spring. These little touches help us feel the rhythm of the year even if we're no longer turning the soil or chasing grandkids around the yard. With a few stones and a little imagination, you can create a rotating set of seasonal decor pieces that are timeless, charming, and entirely handmade. Start by gathering a collection of smooth stones, similar in size but varied enough to give each season its own voice. Clean them gently, then spread them out across your table like a painter's palette. This project is best done with tea nearby and music softly playing in the background. Let it be slow, like the passing of time itself. Now think in seasons. For spring, paint daisies, bunnies, pastel eggs, or a simple sun peeking over green hills. Use soft colors like blush pinks, sky blues, and fresh greens. Summer might bring bright sunflowers, watermelon slices, bees, or flip-flops. You can even paint stones to look like tiny American flags for Independence Day, or a lemonade pitcher for those sweet, slow afternoons. Autumn can be warm rust tones, painted pumpkins, acorns, swirling leaves, or a steaming mug of cider. Add a cozy plaid pattern to one if you're feeling playful. Winter welcomes snowflakes, evergreen trees, stars, or even a holly sprig. Soft whites, icy blues, and touches of gold make everything feel festive yet peaceful. You don't have to be a professional painter. Even simple shapes, circles, heart spirals, can carry meaning when done with intention. You can also use stickers, decoupage, or stencils if that makes the work easier on your hands. Each stone becomes a tiny messenger of the season. Once finished, arrange your stones in a shallow wooden tray, tuck them into a wreath, or scatter them along your windowsill or entryway table. Rotate them as the months pass, a ritual that's gentle on the body and rich for the spirit. These seasonal stones can also become traditions. Make a new one each year. Let your grandchildren choose the image. Write the date on the back and watch your collection grow, a quiet timeline made of earth and paint. And through it all, let the stones remind you we are part of these seasons. We've lived them again and again. Bloomed, warmed, rested, renewed. Still turning with the world. Still bringing color to each corner we touch. Just like spring after a long winter, your creativity always returns. Have you ever looked at a handful of stones, all different shapes and colors, and thought, these belong together somehow? That feeling of pieces coming together to form something more is the heart of stone collage boards. It's not about making a perfect design. It's about arranging little moments, memories, textures, pieces of earth into one quiet, powerful whole. To begin, find a sturdy base. This could be a piece of reclaimed wood, a thrifted cutting board, an old canvas, or even a ceramic tile. Something with weight, with history, just like the stones you'll gather. Now collect a variety of stones in different sizes. You might use smooth river rocks, jagged little pebbles, flat slate pieces, or tiny shells and glass bits from your walks. Lay them out on the board and start arranging. There are no rules. Some people like to form spirals or hearts. Others create scenes, a house under a starry sky, a tree with a winding trunk, or just an abstract design that flows like water. This step can be wonderfully meditative. Slide the pieces around, try different combinations. Let your hands guide you. You might find yourself building a bird without planning it, or a wave cresting in blue-gray stones. Listen to that quiet instinct. It often knows what you need to express before you do. Once your design feels just right, start gluing the stones down. Use a strong craft adhesive that dries clear. Work in small sections and take your time. You don't need to rush. The act of creation is half the joy. Once finished, you can display your collage indoors on a shelf or hang it like art. Some people even place them outside on covered porches, letting the stone speak in its natural element. Wherever you choose, it becomes a point of stillness, a reflection of patience and imagination. This is a beautiful project for those who've lived many seasons. Each stone might remind you of something, a trip, a conversation, a child's pocket treasure. And when placed together, they tell your story without a single word. Stone collage boards also make beautiful gifts, especially for family. A grandmother's board filled with textures and echoes of her life becomes an heirloom. Not flashy, not polished, just true. Because that's what a collage is, pieces of a whole. Different shapes, different colors, all held together by love and intention. And isn't that what we are too? Do you remember the pet rock craze back in the 1970s? It may have started as a playful fad, but there was something tender about it. The idea that even a humble stone could become a companion with just a little imagination and care. Well, dear friend, it turns out that pet rocks never truly went out of style. They've simply grown up with us, and now they return as a light-hearted, heartwarming way to bring joy into your day. Begin with a small stone that fits nicely in your palm, one that feels comfortable, steady. Wash it clean and let it dry. This stone will soon have a personality, so take your time choosing one with character, maybe a round shape that looks like a sleepy cat, or a long one that could be a snoozing dachshund. Now paint it or simply draw on it with as much or as little detail as you like. A sweet little face, 2 bright eyes, a big floppy smile. Some pet rocks wear glasses, some wear bow ties, some just have a bashful little dot for a nose. Use scraps of felt fabric ribbon or even yarn to make ears, tails, or hats. You can glue on buttons or tiny trinkets to give them flair. Once finished, give your new friend a name. Place them in a flower pot on a bookshelf or by the sink. Let them greet you each morning as you reach for the tea bag or rinse your hands. Their silent presence brings a kind of unexpected companionship, like a quiet reminder that joy can be small, simple, and very much alive. Pet rocks also make delightful gifts. You can paint a little puppy rock for your neighbor who just lost a pet, or send a stone cat to a friend who needs cheering up. Write a note. Here's a quiet friend to keep you company. And if you have grandkids, you already know how magical this can be. They'll giggle as they create whole families of rock critters, naming them, housing them in shoeboxes, building stories around them. And best of all, you'll be part of that moment, shaping a memory with nothing more than a rock and a paintbrush. In a world that often feels too fast, too loud, or too serious, pet rocks offer us something sweetly absurd, a little joy without reason, a friend without demands, a symbol that says, even this small forgotten thing can be loved. And perhaps that's a message we all need now and then. Still lovable, still funny, still bringing smiles, still very much you. And now, dear friend, we've reached the end of our gentle journey, a walk not just through ideas, but through memories, creativity, and the quiet beauty of things that others might pass by. Stones may seem plain at first glance, cold, rough, heavy, but when you hold one in your hand and take the time to listen, really listen, you'll find each one carries a story. Some have tumbled through rivers shaped by years of motion. Others sat still for decades beneath the shade of a tree, collecting moss and silence. Each one, like us, has been touched by time. And isn't that a lovely thought, that what once sat unnoticed can become something cherished? That a stone chipped ordinary can be transformed into a garden owl, a mandala of peace, a mosaic of light, or a child's story companion. You don't need to be young to create. You don't need money to make beauty. All you need is care, the kind that lives in your hands, your heart, your eyes, that still pause to admire a smooth pebble or a wind chime sway. Every stone you've painted, placed, or polished becomes part of something greater, your home, your joy, your legacy. A string of quiet creations that say, I was here, I cared, I made something. And if your fingers aren't as nimble as they once were, or if your eyes now see the world a bit more softly, take heart. These crafts aren't about precision. They're about presence, about honoring where you are, who you are, and all the beauty you still carry. So tell me, which idea brought you joy today? Was it the playful pet rocks, the polished stones with leaf prints, or perhaps the mandala that felt like a meditation in color? I'd love to know. Leave a comment if you'd like to share. And if this gentle visit warmed your spirit, consider subscribing for more peaceful, creative inspiration made just for you. Until next time, keep tending your little garden of joy. Whether it's with stone or story color or kindness, remember, your hands still create beauty. Your time is not past, it is precious. And your heart, like a stone weathered by years, is still strong and still shining. Take care, dear friend. Until next time, happy crafting, and may your home always feel like love.